Hey, Kelly. Hey, Vanna. Hey, Scapegoat. Hey, Zombie Queen. Hey, Color Purple. Hey, Zoe. Hey, Donut Predator. Hey, Habibi. Mid salsa. Mid nut salsa. Just trying to help, Habibi. You just entered the goat hole. Do I want to know what a goat hole is? Let my mom. Yeah, I think next week I'm going to be going to see her. Hey, Comic Brook. How's my day? Hey, Troll Police. I stayed up way later than I should have, so then I slept in way later than I meant to. Ended up being 7:30 by the time that I woke up. Didn't just wake up. I woke up like 7:30. Then, spent spent like 45 minutes browsing Twitter, half 30 or 30 minutes, 45 minutes browsing Twitter, and then took a shower, ordered myself some takeout. Any hit tweets? Probably. I got pizza. I got myself a pizza. Not Cornwall style pizza. Hey, potato salad. 11 letters, starts with an S, ends in scope. Stethoscope? Hey, being me. Shower and takeout, nice self-care. Thanks, Troll Police. It's a stethoscope, right? That's not a bad idea. Doing a doing a crossword on streams might be fun sometime. Turbondo's brain surgeon has the best in the business. Okay. Being alone is addicting. Not wrong. Wait is boring. It is, kinda. I've not had a beta blocker. What I've seen so piece. Nah, I'm still in the process. I think I'm just still in the process of waking up Habibi. Hey, Brooke. Been MIA? Not really. I wouldn't say I've been MIA. I wasn't on yesterday. Hey, Jordan. I wasn't on yesterday, but I was on Sunday and Monday. You made a sword today? Ooh, neat. I like swords. All this woke business yet. No work today? No work today now. While you were watching me, I was studying the blade. Get some caffeine. I'll wake up naturally on my own. Tim Hortons? No. No, we didn't get Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is actually on the boycott list for its support of HRH collections. I don't think I have heard of them. Philos? Nah. No, we didn't get Philos because one of her friends works there, or one of her old friends works at Philos, and she is super fucking obnoxious. Hey, color purple. No, I already ate the pizza. What do you think happens if King Charles catches you shoplifting? He beheads you. Adonis bees? No. Adonis, no. No, we don't have Adonis in Cornwall, I don't think. I don't think we have Adonis in Cornwall. As far as I know, I don't think we have Adonis in Cornwall. Hell if I know, but we probably don't. Where's the one she always goes to? Ottawa. There was one in Ottawa. So when we lived there, she used to go there pretty regularly. But Cornwall, I'm guessing probably not. Because Cornwall sucks. You have to remember, Cornwall sucks. She speaks of it so wistfully. Yeah. Is the jacket okay? The jacket is fine. You miss Farm Boy? Hey, Frappuccino. Stroke Coviet for me today? I have not. Been awake for hours waiting for you. I appreciate that, Habibi. Cub's lonely, he needs a friend in there. It would be fun to have another plushie in there for him. Farm your butt and Farm Boy. I think I filmed her butt a few times in a few places. Because it amused me. How am I doing? Not dead yet. Yet. Butt shot? Yep. I'm not dead yet, but there's always tomorrow. There's always hope. Visitor in Kuwait? No. Film her peeing in the road? I don't really remember. I don't remember filming her doing that. Asked you by Becky Williams blush. Would I ever go to the Middle East? Truth is, there's not really a whole lot there that I have that much interest in. You said the peace tank. Yeah, that sounds like something I'd say. Hey, Fernanda. Yeah, Bill in the Middle East, like it's. I mean, it's hotter than I'd be comfortable with to start with. Baby reindeer. I've heard of it, and that's all I've heard is the name. So yeah, like the Middle East, it's hotter than I'd be comfortable with, and there's not really a whole lot over there that I would be all that interested in seeing. You know, it might be cool to see the pyramids, but other than that, and that's not really, and that's Africa rather than Middle East. That's Mediterranean. One of the main characters is trans. I mean, cool, but yeah, Alice. Today's shirt say. Today's shirt is my Muppet Band shirt. Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. It's Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. The Muppet Band. Try to do if I'm happy for my friend starting a new job, but it means they can't send me as many GIFs. I am not rethinking transition now. I do still want the transition. Anyway, as far as your friend not being able to send you as many GIFs goes, oh man, that sucks. I got no advice. Main character's girlfriend and baby reindeer's trans. I mean, like, a character being trans isn't really enough to get me interested. Would I buy a Cybertruck? No. Her name is Terry. She's a baddie. Well, that's cool. Hey, Oregon's on. Hey, Anunnaki. Thoughts on the Palestinian protests in colleges? I support them. I support the protesters. Yes, Cybertruck. It's so fucking stupid. Like you could not give me a Cybertruck. For one thing, I don't drive, so I don't need one. You do the woman saying, asking out Paul to say free Palestine. Yeah, I mean that person seemed that person did seem obnoxious. Yeah, like the protests on college campuses. Yeah, I support them 100%. Thanks, Vanna. You're my baby reindeer. They're viewing the Alec Baldwin situation type deal. He does seem like an asshole. You know, like that voicemail he left his daughter that one time. I don't know if anyone named Alec can be normal. Indeed. Friend with the new job since 4 air fryers a month. Due to their vast wealth cloud, does that even out? Seems fair. Called her a little pig. Yep. Yeah, the Cybertruck. I don't drive, so I don't need a Cybertruck because I don't drive. But even beyond that, I wouldn't. Even if I did drive, I would not use a Cybertruck. It's hideous. Uh, apparently, it's not even. It's not particularly safe. It's designed without any sort of crumple zones. Do you think Grimes is attractive? I don't know. I don't even remember what Grimes looks like. But yeah, like the Cybertruck doesn't have crumple zones, which means that if it gets hit, all the force of the impact just goes straight through the driver. I'd be trans if that's what Grimes wanted. Didn't she? Yeah, wasn't she dating Chelsea Manning? When's the last time I rode a bike? Oh, back in my teenage years. Not even teenage years. Back when I was like a tween, I think. Hell, I might not have even been a tween yet. It's been a long time since I rode a bike. Play okay, man. I think I got okay with it. I didn't need like training wheels or anything. And yeah, there was one person. They were in a Cybertruck, and they got hit from the side, and their legs got broken. You know, people were like, "Oh, but look, the truck is still in good condition." It's like, yeah, but the driver has broken legs. Crumple zones exist so that if the car gets hit, the driver can walk away without injuries, hopefully. A Cybertruck gets hit, you better hope you're damned lucky because you're probably not walking away without injuries. I only practiced on gravel, so I'm very durable. There was also the one where so someone says she was local pike once. That's not nice. Especially when she's not here to defend herself. Yeah, there's another Cybertruck get like rolled backwards into a lake, and the passenger couldn't get the door open and couldn't get the window open, so ended up drowning. Drowned. Woman who was driving a Cybertruck. Taking a Cybertruck through a car wash voids the warranty. That's how fucking shitty the Cybertruck is. Taking it through a car wash voids the warranty. Billionaire. I don't know how rich she was, but I think she was. I mean, obviously the woman was pretty well off. Electronics can't get wet usually, right? But I mean, like how fucking shitty is your car if it can't stand a fucking car wash? It rusts. It rusts super easily. It's just the Cybertruck is a genuinely shitty car. It is genuinely fucking awful. Does the Kia have crumple zones? I would imagine so. And it can go through a car wash. Even the fucking Pinto could at least go through a car wash. Test drove it. Cybertruck? No. Where's the crumple zone on the human body? I'm pretty sure the human body is all crumple zone. What about no roof cars? Well, I mean, if you've got an open roof car that doesn't have the optional top, you know what you're in for with that. Who is Rumpelstiltskin? Someone who got kind of fucked over. Why is he going around stealing babies? He's not stealing them. He made a deal. They had a verbal contract. They had a verbal contract. He fulfilled his part of the bargain. He fulfilled his part of the deal. And then the lady's like, I don't want to fulfill my part. And even after that, Rumpelstiltskin was like, okay, tell you what. If you can guess my name, What did he want with a random baby? I don't know. He probably wanted it. He probably wanted to eat it. Is his first name really Rumpel? Well, I think his full I think it's just one name, Rumpelstiltskin. It's like a Madonna situation. It's just the one name. Do you think he ever struggled to find it in keychains and stuff? Probably. He didn't know he was missing out on baby reindeer by only going for humans. Yeah, he probably should have been. He probably should have been eating veal. He's probably a big fan of veal. Can't imagine reindeer would taste that good. They probably do. I did not say I would watch it. You're so ski baby. You're so diaper tax. That's when SJM saying he would kiss me. I will pass. I'm just not into dudes. Can borrow the Netflix I borrow to watch it. I'll pass them. Vlogging comic book. Fair. That seems fair, Jordan. Imagine. I do still plan on transitioning at some point. Just where I live now, I'm not really comfortable with it. Comfortable beginning it. You make an exception to the very feminine looking dude? No. Just not into dudes. Listening to Post Malone. We're kind of similar. I will take your word on that, I guess. Anyway, watching a Let's Play of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Still watching Let's Play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I'm going to be honest, that game does not look fun. What part am I at? She just fought Vincent. She just fought Vincent Valentine. Yeah, like what part didn't seem fun? Navigating the world? Like just traveling around seems more tedious than enjoyable. Like especially like once you get into like jumping on mushrooms and jumping off cliffs and shit like that, the navigation just seems like really tiresome. The fact that every fucking thing you do, basically every fucking thing that you do is a mini game, often with requiring either, you know, really good timing or really fucking finicky controls. Couple parts I was confused and had to look up a guide, but almost everything's optional and important stuff is marked on the map. But I mean, that's kind of the problem, is like, your options are either skip fucking everything that isn't main quest, or else get infuriated trying to do the things that actually make the game take more than 20 minutes. Okay. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You know, like, just playing through just the main story seems like it's probably pretty quick. Like, if you're skipping all the optional stuff, it's probably a pretty damn short game. Also, the bit where you're running around as Cat She, and fuck you, Square, I will not pronounce it wrong. It's Cat She. Yeah, the part where you're running around as Cat She, and you get, and like, there's a couple of super difficult fights. You know, like, a couple of fights are just stupidly difficult for a character who seems really awkward to control at times. Cash or no cash? Cashew. Graphics still look all pixelated. No, I mean, modern games, unless they're going for an old school pixelated look. It's been taken back when they hit us with Kate Sith. Yeah. I mean, part of, like, back in the day, you know, back 25 years ago, it was understandable because the internet wasn't as big. So, you know, people didn't know how it was pronounced. So people pronounce it Kate Sith because that's how it looks. And holy shit, MG. Hearts in the chat for MG for dropping a honey. Dropping a hundo. Hope you're doing well. I'm sorry I've been MIA, but I've been ridiculously busy. That's fine, MG. I understand. You've got a life. I don't begrudge you for it. I'm glad you were able to make it in, and yeah, thanks a whole hell of a lot. You basically just, for the record, you basically just doubled what I'm going to make this month. I'm making like 100 a month off YouTube these days, so you just doubled my monthly YouTube income. Woo! Yeah, thank you so much for the 100. What's it dinner? I ordered, I had a pizza for dinner. Does your pay depend on views? Yeah. Yeah, it depends mostly on views and on memberships. And I'm down to 30 members. 30 slices. Hey, produce. I did not poo-poo in the kitchen. I think it's 30. Yeah. 30 members. Best things in life are free. Do you like to poo-poo in the kitchen? I don't. I like to poo-poo in the bathroom. Do you like roommates? I mean, they're nice enough and everything, but Not well whatsoever. I mean, is anyone really well in this topsy-turvy world of ours? It's new. What's the hot goss? Nothing, unfortunately. I got pretty much nothing going on. About the most, honestly, about the biggest news in my life right now is I finished rewatching Star Trek Deep Space Nine and started watching Star Trek Voyager. That is about the most exciting thing going on for me. I like the clout from the suffering. Sounds fair. Work, new book. Work still sucks. Work is still a job, so work still is still work, so it still sucks. New books. I do need to get around to reviewing. I do need to get around to reviewing this one, Stonehearted, and I did pick up the collected edition of Invisible Kingdom. Well, no. So for where I'm living, I'm still just renting a room. I'm still just renting a room from an older couple that my mom knows. So nothing new there. Everyone trauma dump in honor of this donation. Do you think guns are okay for people to have for self-defense? Depends on the gun. Like in general, I'm not too concerned about people having a handgun in their home for self-defense. And I'm okay with them having, hunting rifles for hunting. And they've got things like book by the gentleman who wrote Let the Right One In. Cool, cool. Dead Reanimating. It's great, but translated very poorly. Oh, that's a shame. I did not watch that movie, but I watch very few movies. Partner has a big ass gun. I don't know what it is other than it's huge. But it definitely helps keep people from breaking into the house. Yeah, I'm not a fan of like bigger weapons. Like I said, handguns and hunting rifles, sure. But once you start getting into like ARs, once you start getting into guns that have large clips, is sort of where I start taking issue. Just pretend my Nintendo Wii remotes were nunchucks. Yeah, that's fine. Brought the to my company. Neat. Lead a team. Ooh, congratulations, MG. Like real men fight with their clout and not their guns. Very bad gun safety habits. Don't put a place to put your finger if you're only supposed to put it there sometimes. It's funny, is ever since I learned about certain gun safety basics, I find myself watching for that in fiction. Yeah, like I'll find myself watching if people have their fingers on or off the trigger. I like Baldwin could have used it. Well, no, what he needed was somebody who knew which gun was which was the prop and which was the real gun. Oof, that's shitty. That's rough, MG. I think my partner's gun is mostly just to compensate, but automatic something something. Girl liberal, he's hardcore conservative. Yeah. Sign language lessons. Hey, ugly hobo. That would be neat, actually. I do wish that I had the patience to learn sign language because it does. I do feel like it would be really neat. Do I know any other languages? No. I was never good at learning other languages. Years of French class, 9 years of French class, and love to learn sign language. So far, I don't technically need to, but I probably should. It's a great anime recently about deaf main characters, and sign language was awesome. It is becoming sign language is becoming a more common thing in fiction, I feel like. I remember when Ariel had a deaf friend in the Little Mermaid show. I don't, MG, but I never watched the Little Mermaid show. I mean, I'm pretty sure I only watched the Little Mermaid show movie as an adult. I think I was in my 20s by the time I watched the movie. Just tell people you're deaf and see if they're mean while you can still hear them. Little Mermaid came out the year I was born. It came out in 94. I think Lion King was probably 94. I believe Little Mermaid was 89, I believe. I want to say 1989 for Little Mermaid. Gabriella is a recurring character in the animated series Little Mermaid. She's a deaf mermaid who communicates in American Sign Language. Her friend Ollie, an octopus, serves as her interpreter. On a random side note, it is weird that they would use American Sign Language in like that mermaids would use American Sign Language. Especially because aren't they closer to, like, aren't they more Europe? Like she marries a prince. U.S. doesn't have princes. That's a European thing. There are mermaids for the first 10 nautical miles. American Mermaid would be a good band name. Atlantean Sign Language, right? Hey, PK. What would my band name be? I don't know. I have no musical ability, so I wouldn't be in a band. You can play the triangle. I'm not sure if I'd even be able to do that much. I got no rhythm. I have no rhythm, MG, so. That was weak. What? It's true. I'm rhythmless. Oh, that was peak. I thought for a second I thought you said weak. Partner apparently played trumpet all for his days in the military. When you scan a person around the house, he's completely silent and scares me. Gonna put a bell on him. My dance. I don't even remember what my dance looked like. I cannot clap my cheeks. People who've been in band have silent band feet because there's a way to learn to walk to prevent tooting the horn wrong. Interesting. I was unaware of that, MG. It's my favorite band. Heartless Bastards. How much money do I make on YouTube? Hi. Uh, I'm making like 100 a month off YouTube these days. Shit, even that might be. Not sure I'm even doing that much. Let me see what I made on my most recent. So what did I make on the most recent? Hey, Big Turks. Come here for the vibes. Indeed. Never had my Cinderella 2 moment of learning to walk gracefully. Tootin' Constantly is a good band name. Not really. No. All right. So yeah, the last my last YouTube payment was $135. So I made $135 last month. Thoughts on Big Turks? They're cool. I like Big Turks. You're still come to talk to us even if I made nothing? Hell no, I'm only in this for the money. I have a full-time job, MG. YouTube is a side hustle. Given how little money I make off it, it is basically a hobby. YouTube is essentially a hobby at this point. I do have an actual full-time job in customer service. Do a jacuzzi live stream, it'll be like $500. What I sell out. It would depend who I was siding out, selling out to. You know, like there are definitely companies that I would be willing to sell out to. And there are companies that I'd be like, no, go fuck yourself. And do I like my job? Yeah. I don't like it. Hey, Norma. Set up my body in that perfectly good hot tub? No. What companies would I sell out to? Adam and Eve. I'm a manager. I'd like to speak to your customer, please. Need to work a job you like. Yeah, I mean, it's just easier said than done. J-Dot. Hey, J-Dot. Yeah, we got MG, we got J-Dot. We got everyone here today. Well, that sucks, J-Dot. That's rough. Well, you have our condolences. Yeah. Bleach and gloves? I don't think so. Braid each other's hair. Unfortunately, J. Dot, I can't pray for her just for anyone because I'm an atheist. Anyone? Hey, alien tourist. I mean, that's a pretty good long. It's a pretty good long life right there. It's not a bad life at all. What would I like to live to? Tomorrow. Keep this attitude up, it'll be 38. I mean, I'm already 39, so. So give me 100. And I think you can guess who it was, alien tourist. It was MG. Clocks haven't gone forward properly. And I'm not sure that's really praying, though, MG. You're broken? Yeah, I can imagine. Hey, Killface. Bad week. Yeah, I can imagine that, J. Dot. Yeah, Killface. J Dot's here. MG's here. We got good chunk of the whole game. What are you doing with my new job? I mean, it's a customer service thing. It's mostly text based, emails and live chats. It's mostly live chats and emails, which Scapegoat isn't here. She was here earlier. I gotta blow my nose. Give me a second. I gotta blow my nose here. Love your low gas prices. Scapegoat's low gas prices. I just called her. Where's Jenna? Oh, yeah, Jenna's not here tonight. For some reason, I just called her Scrape Dot. So that's her new nickname. That's her new nickname is Scrape Dot. Everyone's a dot now. She will love it. I know she will. Everyone here is a dot now. J dot, Joe dot, Scrape dot, Kill dot, Habee dot, Van dot, Comic dot, non-comic dot. Hey, Kelly. Your grandma was Dottie. Chicken with mashed potatoes and rolls for dinner. Grandmother's government name. Said bougie in here tonight. It's bougie. I'll take your word on that. Okay, yeah. Bordotsy. Man, an extra 21K would change my life in such a huge way. leading a team and doing presentations as supervisor or manager should do. Because I'm doing work, at least they compensate. Yeah, at least they compensated you for it. Not all places would do that. There's no shortage of places that would give you no raise at all while having you do a manager's work. You know, like have you do a manager's work, but like, no, you're keeping your same salary. You in the mafia? There's Jenna. Yeah, Jenna doesn't come around very often anymore, does she? It's her birthday? Oh, is it? Well, happy birthday, Jenna. If you watch this on, the repeat. Wait, is it her actual birthday or is it just like her whole every day is her birthday thing? Because I'm just remembering that she was one of those people. Because I'm just remembering, I think she was the one where it's like, oh, it's my birthday next. It's my birthday tomorrow. And it's like, wasn't it your birthday last week? Every day. Fair enough. Put more effort in my channel. I mean, I'd have to put a lot of effort in to get more than a few $100s. Even to get like more than a couple hundred. I always get Jen's birthday mixed up with Christmas. Hey, Beetlejuice. Yeah, I suspect even to get my channel even up to like just, $500 a month, I would just about need to like turn YouTube into a second full-time job. Just about. You're on steroids. Cool, cool. Next up, files of Mrs. Basil E. Frinkweller. I have not comic book. Now we're ready for the Tour de France. Kids that run away and live in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Cool, cool. Have I ever sent it to you? I did once as a teenager. I went to it once or twice. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. did I do at the gym? I don't even remember. I think just some basic shit. Lock myself dumpster diving? No. Not sure they even have a dumpster. Or like, I'm not sure where the dumpster would be. Thoughts on TikTok being banned? I think it's kind of stupid. Like, it honestly just seems stupid to me. I did see one person pointing out that TikTok's popularity with teens and tweens does make it a little bit different from something like Facebook, which, you know, teens and tweens don't use. So TikTok is a little bit more of a threat to the privacy and to the privacy of actual kids compared to a company like Facebook. But it still comes down to like every social media site sells people, collects information and sells it. Sure they can't do that. Yeah, I mean, what it is, it's TikTok has to sell it. Like TikTok has to be sold to somebody else, or else it will be banned in the US. Whether it's like, I don't actually know the constitutionality. Like I don't know whether that ban is constitutional or not. Not that it particularly matters with the Supreme Court as it is. I don't have TikTok. Neither do I. I've never cared about TikTok one way or the other. Gee, you should buy it. MG got that walking around money. Had a pizza burning in the oven. What should I buy? Hey, young. Yes, Canada has a Supreme Court. I don't know. Support local MG. Chinese delivery. Yeah, Chinese delivery is good. Some local restaurant that's good. TikTok. Yeah. Buy TikTok. What I was saying is that you should order from a local restaurant. Yeah, everybody wants you to buy TikTok. Read the nearest McDonald's comment. Meh. Yeah. Fuck McDonald's, though. I'm paying attention, Habibi. He sees a TikTok and it drives me crazy. She didn't know what Detroit was. You like playing Salter? Nah. No, I'm clicking through recommended games on Steam. Minesweeper. I will admit, I was entirely too old when I finally figured out what the rules of Minesweeper are. I think I was like 30 by the time I figured out like how to actually play Minesweeper. Sweet baby ink. Oh, I see it twice a week. I know. I just click and try. I mean, that was kind of what I used to do. I was like, I don't like. It's one of those things where I was like, I don't get the dress browsing post-industry adult films with our backs turned. Post-industry? What? I don't know what post-industry means. That was a guessing game. Yeah. Yeah, it took me entirely too long to figure out that, like, oh, the numbers indicate how many bombs are around it. That said, a lot of Minesweeper hands do it. Like a lot of Minesweeper games do end up being kind of a guessing game by the end. You know, like a lot of Minesweeper games, there will be points where it's just like, I got a 50-50 chance here. Anaphylaxis. Oof. Want to go into something like politics? I mean, I'd recommend against politics. Politics is a shit show. Which 3 people are in my dream blunt rotation? I mean, I don't smoke weed, so I don't have a dream blunt rotation. Love hearing about things almost no one experiences ever. eat garlic and onion. Not big on garlic. I'm not much for garlic, but I'm with you on the onion. Onion's good. Onion always adds the right, a nice bit of flavor. Onion always, just about anything. Onion enhances just about anything. Would I like to travel to another country? I would. Hi, Kat. I would like to travel to another country. There are a few different countries that I do really want to visit. Want to get back to Scotland someday. I'd love to visit Greece. There's a couple theme parks I want to visit in Japan. Would win a heavily heated political debate between me and Destiny. I don't know. Does anyone outside of like debate clubs, does anyone ever really win a debate, frankly? Especially a political debate? Ex-boyfriend used to try to bait me over the rules of board games. Don't fly Bowen. Yeah. See, my answer to that comic book is like sometimes house rules make games more interesting. Do I go to sleep early? Yeah, I go to sleep early morning. I go to sleep early morning, like 9 a.m. Not follow the rules 100% of the time. Yeah, like Monopoly. We'll use Monopoly as an example. There's nothing in the official Monopoly rules that, money for buying your way out of prison goes under free parking, and then anyone who lands on free parking collects the money. That is not a rule. That is a house rule. That is a common house rule. And it makes it more interesting. Is a court trial essentially two people debating, and whoever is most convincing usually wins? Fair enough, I suppose. I don't like board games, so I get angry if things don't go my way. The board will be flipped. So, like, it depends on the rule. Like, some house rules suck. Like, there are house rules that are stupid and shouldn't be followed. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there are shitty house rules out there, I'm sure. Ever liked Monopoly? I don't know how unpopular that is, frankly. A lot of people have bad opinions of Monopoly. It is something that goes too long. Monopoly is one of those games that just goes way too long. I like cards. Monopoly is the best way to get into a fight with your loved ones. Indeed. Chess? I have played chess. I'm not very good at it. I need to dedicate 3 hours to one round of a game. Indeed. Hard to sit and wait for people to be slow to move. End up being a monster and playing all places. Nearly cried playing Uno because of that damn reverse card. Skiing. I did try skiing when I was a kid. I tried it once, didn't particularly enjoy it. Queen's Gambit. I've heard of that one, Habibi. Anya. It's Anya Taylor-Joy. But yeah. Anya Taylor-Joy. Who seems neat. She seems cool. You're the Tom Brady of chess. Is that good or bad? The menu? I did not see the menu. Why didn't I like skiing? I don't know. Just wasn't for me. Thoughts on Ozark? Never watched it. Only thing I've watched, the only thing I've seen Anya Taylor-Joy in was New Mutants. She was as good as the movie allowed her to be. No, I never watched The Wire. She's in The Vitch. Split in Glass. And he has a treasure. Amazing and everything. She does seem cool. Like I said, I enjoyed her in New Mutants. No, MG. The Vitch. It's The Vitch. Who's messaging me on Twitter? Some random person. I'm not even completely sure who this person is. One show you hate that you find gets way too much hype. I don't know. Yeah, trying to remember. Trying to think of any shows I've watched that I just like genuinely despised. And like Yeah, I don't know. I do not have a romantic interest now. Anything Star Wars and best things Marvel? I mean, if we're allowing movies, like if we're talking about movies, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. If they remade Friends again today, I think he'd be next in line. I like Friends. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed Friends back in the day. Friends is one of those shows where I will concede any criticisms that people have of it. I still enjoyed it. It was still a good show. Andy Taylor will be in Furiosa. Cool. Scarecrow. I mean, he was honestly, he was fine. You know what? I will give Cillian Murphy credit as Scarecrow. They did a decent job adapting Scarecrow. Friends got tiring around the mid-season. Yeah. They did sort of hit some patches where it felt like they were spinning their wheels. Yeah, for like never seen a show with a laugh track. They were banned by my mother. Fair. Avengers got too much hype. The MCU, I'll actually admit that the MCU, there are people who get way too obsessed with it, who treat those movies way too seriously. You know, like those are fun popcorn flicks. They're good times. They're thoroughly enjoyable times. That's all they are. You know, Avengers was a really fun movie. So it was. It was a fun movie, and that was it. I mean, shit, MG. I grew up reading and watching X-Men. You know, I grew up reading the X-Men comics and watching X-Men the animated series in the 90s. Much better Friends of The Office. I've never watched The Office. I would guess that it's probably the superior show. So yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of love for the X-Men. I've got a lot of love for comics. I love comic books as a medium. In terms of the movies, the X-Men movies were bad. Used to search the sewers for the Morlocks. That's funny. Yeah, like the X-Men movies, the first two X-Men movies benefited from being very, very early on in the superhero in terms of superhero films. There had been others before that, the classic Richard Donner Superman movies, and the Tim Burton Batman movies. A few other superhero movies that were, some good, some terrible. Much as regular comic book these days. They're like $4 these days. It's like $4 an issue. I think about $4 an issue. I like bad movies sometimes. Sure. That's the end of the first X-Men movie. Here's the thing. The first two X-Men movies are only perceived as good because there was so little before it to compare it to. Even with that, though, the treatment of Storm was shitty. The treatment of Cyclops was shitty. Mystery Man Blade, The Shadow Spawn, Sky High. Yeah, so I mean, there was like a sort of a mixed. Superhero movies had been a very mixed bag prior to the Raimi Spider-Man and what's his name X-Men movies. Prior to the Spider-Man and X movies, the live-action superhero adaptations had a very mixed history. Blade was awesome. The Shadow, as I recall, didn't do very well. Spawn, as I recall, got really bad reviews. Civil War. I will not be watching Civil War. Ratner. Yeah, I think so. Brian Ratner. Whatever his name is. Who turned out to be awful. Who turned out to be an awful person, as I recall, as well. Anyway, yeah. Even the first two X-Men movies suffered from being overly focused on very specific characters. You know, the first two, it was basically Wolverine, Xavier, Magneto. Those were the only three characters who actually mattered. You know, Rogue was fairly prominent in the first one. But even she sort of got pushed back in the second. So I don't know, like they were just Hellboy and Constantine. Well, Constantine didn't get very good reviews. A lot of people did not. Like a lot of people didn't like Constantine. I never read Heavy Metal Magazine. I did watch the movie, weirdly enough, but I never read the magazine. Now, so yeah, those first two, Adam, like yeah, and then after that, where it's just who was my favorite Spider-Man actor. I don't know, for live action, Tom Holland probably. Hey, crying shame. So yeah, the first two X-Men movies benefited from low expectations. But even with that, there were problems with them. Would you prefer yellow spandex? Yes! Yes, I preferred yellow spandex. At least they focused on Rogue's relationship with Bobby. Everything else was awesome. Scott is one of the best characters in the franchise. Cyclops was always a compelling character. Baby back bitch. I was like X-Men First Class. That's another one that benefited from low expectations. It was not a great movie. Fuck yes, I love Scott. I always loved Cyclops. Cyclops was always one of my favorites. Wolverine lover? I always hated Wolverine. Like, I always disliked Wolverine. First, because he was overhyped. Like, Wolverine from, like, starting in, like, 1992, Wolverine became way too overhyped. like obnoxiously so. So that turned me off him. But also, Wolverine's a dick. Like, Wolverine is just, he's a dick. Kitty, Kurt, your favorite? I love Kitty. Kitty was always another of my favorites. Did not sit comfortably with Hugh Jackman. You'll call her Catherine. I think she goes by Kate these days. I think she did start going by Kate in recent years. Women like dick. But yeah, like, Wolverine is just, he's an asshole. I like Wolverine when she's kidding me. She's still kidding to a lot of people. I like Wolverine when he is in the role of helping young women to realize their true potential. That's the Wolverine that I like. You know, mentoring Kitty Pryde, mentoring Jubilee. Fuck yes, Wolverine and Logan and Jubilee was always like one of the absolute best pairings. Like, Jubilee brought out the absolute best in Wolverine. They were such a fun pairing. You know, after Jubilee went to Generation X, Wolverine wasn't quite the same for a few years. Kurt went into movies touching the fact that Mystique was his mother. Hey, Pika. Because it didn't matter. Like, because they genuinely don't care. Like, because the filmmakers don't care about Kurt. Kurt was a special effect. Like, as far as the filmmakers are concerned, Nightcrawler was a really cool fight scene. I think you might somehow wake up and have superpower when you're a kid. Kinda. What is the best superhero film? I'll be honest. Superman. It's not necessarily that it's the best superhero film. It's just that it's the movie that I still look at as being the platonic ideal of a superhero movie. Like, that is the bar. Mystique had to give up her own child to protect him. And they never bring it up in the movies. Because they don't care. One with Marlon Brando? Yep. Christopher Reeve? Yep. Like, they don't care about Nightcrawler. They don't care about Mystique, except to the extent that of their relationships to the characters who do matter. Yeah. Wolverine, Xavier, and Magneto. Isn't Azazel the dad? Recently, just a few months ago, apparently just a few months ago, they did a retcon in the comics. So the story now is that Mystique slept with Azazel and then used his genetic code to impregnate Destiny. So technically, Mystique is actually Nightcrawler's dad now, in a weird way. Azazel's it still uses Azazel's genetic code, so he's still genetically Azazel is still the father, but Mystique got Destiny pregnant, so Destiny is now Nightcrawler's mother. That is so weird. It's also like a lot of it is sort of like Claremont's original idea was actually that Mystique had taken male form and gotten Destiny pregnant. So like that was Claremont's original idea, is that Mystique was the father, Destiny the mother. Superman Christopher Reeve was the first person I ever had a crush on. Fair enough. I think I may have even fancied Supergirl more. Also fair. A lot of time travel and weirdness. The X-Men thrive on weirdness, which is another issue with the movies. The movies were not weird enough. The X-Men is all about what the fuck. Yeah, like another issue that I have, like one big issue that I have with the X-Men movies is that they are so fucking white. Biography of Stanley. I did not. Gargoyles. Yeah, I watched Gargoyles back in the day. Kitty has a dragon. Yep, Lockheed. She dated Star-Lord. Yep. For a brief period, she actually took over as Star-Lord. She and Star-Lord started dating, and then there was a bit of a time skip. Peter Quill was busy with something else, so Kitty Pryde took over the Star-Lord identity for a short while. Funnily enough, he was the third Peter that she dated. You know, Colossus, Pyotr Rasputin. So she dated Pyotr Rasputin, or Peter. She dated Pete Wisdom when she was in Excalibur. And then she dated Peter Quill. And obviously, you know, in the Ultimate Universe, she dated Peter Parker. For some reason, it's just, she just dates guys named Pete. I think it's time they actually allowed her to date a girl, frankly. Been to Comic-Con. I've been to Ottawa Comic-Con, and I've been to Cornwall Area Pop Event, which is like a Comic-Con type thing. Love Gargoyles. Should make a live action of that, but not F it up. I don't know about a live action. Peter is a popular name. I don't know, it's just a coincidence that like it's just a weird coincidence. And especially, I mean, she hasn't dated that many people. Like she hasn't dated all that many guys in general. But keeps going back to Peter's. That said, I think it's time that they allowed her to date a woman. She has always been bi. You know, she has always been queer coded. Like just about from the start, she was deeply queer coded. Let her come out as bi. Let her date a woman. There will be absolutely no one like there. You know, sometimes a character comes out and there'll be objections like, "Oh, there's no indication that they were gay." You know, when Iceman came out, I was like, "Oh, there was no indication that he was gay." Kitty coming out as bi, there'd be no one saying that. They'd be like, "Fair." It's like, yeah, that's fair. She's always, yeah. Yeah, there have been indications. Thoughts on Thundercats? Never watched it. Ooh, happy anniversary, Killface. Mini vacay. Yeah, happy anniversary, Killface. Congratulations. 7 years. Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, as far as the live action X-Men movies go, I thought the Wolverine was actually really good, or pretty good at least. Like, I thought the Wolverine was actually pretty good. Logan was great. The two Deadpool movies were great. And New Mutants wasn't bad. Katie's relationship with Avalanche. I never watched Evolution, so I have no thoughts on it. Like more queer coded characters that were straight, strong, unique women that are not necessarily gay. I mean, there's plenty of those, frankly. What I would say to that, Cat, is basically every woman Claremont has ever written. Didn't like Wolverine? He's not a character that I particularly like. That said, The Wolverine was a good movie, and Logan was a great movie. There are good Wolverine stories. Like, there are some great Wolverine stories. I just think he's an asshole. Hey, Elf. Yeah, like of the Team X-Men movies, Ensemble X films, New Mutants, genuinely the best of the bunch. I would rank New Mutants above any of the actual X-Men movies. Not even joking. Was it flawed? Yes, it absolutely had its problems. The whitewashing of both Sunspot and Cecilia Reyes was disappointing. And there were other issues with that movie, but it tried to do something genuinely unique. It tried to be weird in a way that the main films never really tried. It had multiple people of color in major roles. The main character, arguably the main character, was Danny Moonstar, a woman of color. And, another major character was Sunspot, who was black in the comics, Latino in the movie. Only X-Men film that actually had genuine queer representation with Danny and Rain dating. I have not seen Galaxy Quest, no. Yeah, like, you look at X-Men First Class as an example. Two non-white characters. One of them is a black dude who dies, despite his power being doesn't die. The other, Latina, who decides to side with the villains. After getting very little to do throughout the rest of the movie. Come on. And that's a running theme throughout the entirety of the live-action X-Men franchise. So at least 3/9 of that turned to Galaxy Quest. So that missed when they go dark. Right, because, like, it's so fucking stupid. His actual power, his literal power, is that he can survive anything. But he's a black man in a movie. Black guy dies first. The black guy always dies first. And I mean, it's a recurring theme throughout the entirety of the live action X-Men movies that people of color don't fucking matter. They get jack fucking shit to do. Halle Berry had to fight for every moment of screen time that Storm got in like the second and third movies. Like she had to fight to get more screen time for fucking Storm. Storm! One of the most important characters in the franchise. And you've got a fucking Oscar winner having to fight to actually get some focus for her. For her to get some fucking things to do. And Halle Berry was a terrible choice to play Storm. Nothing against Halle Berry herself. But she was the wrong choice to play Storm. She's too light-skinned and she doesn't have that dominating presence that Storm needs. Mostly focus on the battle between Magneto and Xavier. With Wolverine obviously being, Wolverine, so he has to be the star. He has to be the star of everything. Everything has to be all Wolverine all the fucking time. But, like, that's kind of the issue I have. And, like, it's not just the first movies, though, MG. It's, like, other movies as well. It's First Class. All the First Class movies. People of color don't fucking matter. X-Men Apocalypse. Every non-white character was a villain. Samuel Jackson, when did he die? I mean, there was that shark movie. There was that shark movie where he got eaten in half right in the middle of delivering an epic speech. That was a pretty good one. No, Wolverine was absolutely the main focus of the first 3 movies. And of the 5th one as well. Don't recognize First Class movies. Brother Trick not good. Actually, I hate that this is how it happened. It was an alien who put Xavier in a wheelchair. Lucifer? I believe it was Lucifer. I believe it was an alien who called himself Lucifer. Give me a moment to double check. It's going to bug me otherwise. Totally forgettable character. Like, nobody remembers this villain. But no, in the comics, some stupid ass yeah. Yes, stupid ass alien who called himself Lucifer. And he dropped a big rock on Xavier after Xavier ruined his plans once. terrible villain. Just absolutely terrible and ridiculous villain. Notable only because he is the one who actually crippled Xavier. Thoughts on Mephisto? Mephisto's cool. He's a little bit, it depends on how he's handled, but in general, Mephisto's cool. Hang up the clothes. This is an office closet, Cat Frappuccino. I'm not going to put clothes. My bedroom is in another room. I'm not going to hang out my clothes in the office closet. Lucifer, MG. I'm sorry, it's Lucifer. At least originally. I should say, his original, the way he was crippled in originally. He's been crippled a few times. Xavier has been crippled on a few different occasions, but the beginning of the series is a stupid-ass alien called Lucifer. That's coming from Planet. I'm talking about the 60s, though, MG. Back in the 60s, the original comics. It was a stupid-ass alien called Lucifer. There might have been like some other comic that did some retcon, that tried to do some retcon. Though I don't really remember that. Hey, Barbara. Makes more sense. I mean, it kind of does. Like, there might have been a separate occasion where the Juggernaut crippled Xavier, although I don't really remember off the top of my head. But the thing to remember is, so in the original story, where the Juggernaut debuts, Xavier and Kane are... Do I listen to stuff while I sleep? I don't. Not quite Killface. Not in the original comics. So in the original comics, what happened? Xavier and his half-brother, stepbrother, Xavier and his stepbrother Kane Marco were in. I think it might have actually been Korea. They, Kane was deserting, ran into a temple. Xavier followed him. Kane grabbed the ruby gem of Cybertruck, and Xavier and the cave started to come down. Xavier escaped and was not injured in the escape. Xavier, made it out, and Juggernaut was trapped under the mountain. Is a little bit later. that Xavier was traveling Eastern Europe, somewhere in Eastern Europe. Still the CD-ROM with the comics on it. It was somewhere. I think it was somewhere in Eastern Europe that that Xavier was traveling when he first encountered a stupid ass alien who called himself Lucifer, and Xavier ruined his plans, and the alien dropped a. No, this one is Alien Tourist. I'm sorry, this one is. If you read the comics where he appeared, you would agree. Oh no, this one sucks. So, in retaliation for ruining his plans, Lucifer dropped a big rock on Xavier, and that crippled him. And then it was, a little after that, Xavier formed the X-Men, and shortly after forming the X-Men, Juggernaut escaped and found them. So Xavier was already crippled by the time the Juggernaut appeared. I don't know what comic you might have read then, MG. Yeah, I'm trying to find. I can't find anything about. Still sick of Gremlins from my own youth. Recently watched Gremlins with a bunch of teenagers. That's hilarious. I watched Gremlins not too long ago. The first Gremlin. I watched the first Gremlins not long ago, and it's a good movie. Yeah, so I don't know what comic you read, MG. I don't know if maybe it was one of those things that was like trying to. MG, thanks for chatting nerds up with us. As nerd myself, I appreciate it, even if we disagree a lot. Thank you very much for another honey, MG. More hearts in the chat for MG. That was amazing. But anyway, as a kid, I watched Gremlins 2, but not the original. It was only like a year or so ago. I think it might have actually been just last year that I watched the original Gremlins and enjoyed it. Yeah, for the comic you read where Juggernaut crippled Xavier, I'm wondering if maybe it was sort of like basically one of those things that was trying to like sort of like a retelling. I'm wondering if it's more like a retelling comic, like a retelling of things that did it to try to streamline things. Because I do know, in the original 60s comics, Lucifer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say it, because Lucifer sucks. Like, I don't like having to say that he was the one who crippled Xavier, because he sucks. He does. He is a shit character. Literally, the only notable thing about him is that he is the one responsible for crippling Xavier. Anything else about him, like no one knows. Like no one knows who that he exists. 80s, 90s. Also Toad, his first appearance. Yeah, so I'm kind of inclined to think that it might have been sort of like an alternate continuity type of thing, where it was just streamlining things, just like a retelling, that happened to take some liberties. Dead Poet Society. I think I watched Dead Poet Society and it was good. Yeah, it was near the Himalayas. So yeah, it was a town near the. It was near the Himalayas where Xavier got crippled by fucking Lucifer. Alien tourist. And like the Timu version of NG. Thank you very much, alien tourist. Hearts in the chat for alien tourist. On a random side note, it was right after Xavier was crippled that he first met Sage. Too hot for my eyes. This may sound kind of sacrilegious, but I like Sage. I like Sage better when she's written by writers who aren't Chris Claremont. Part of that is I just got really tired of Chris. Like, I just have not enjoyed. Catsy $4.99, adding it up. Thank you very much, Catsy. Matrix is the first movie my oldest son would watch. Now he's easy to watch movies with. He used to have TikTok brain. Who aren't Claremont, who aren't Chris Claremont. Hey, Tin Push. The truth is, very little of what Chris Claremont wrote post 1991, I enjoy. You know, like his classic 80s run was classic for a reason. It was phenomenal stuff. His returns to the franchise since then have typically been either underwhelming or, on occasion, downright bad. Is Wes Anderson the sicko? I think you're thinking Wes Craven. Wes Anderson is a lot of like twee shit. Andy Dick. Andy Dick is a sicko, yeah. Anderson dated Fiona Apple. That tracks. What is twee? I don't know. It's just very precious, I guess. Yeah, Wes Anderson is like a lot of like, sort of hipster shit. Excessively or effectively quaint. So yeah. Excessively quaint, pretty, or sentimental. YouTube blocked me from saying I support Wes Anderson. Weird. Zoe Deschanel. Yeah, kind of, yeah. Funnily enough, never watched a Zoe Deschanel movie. I'm a fan of her music. I'm a fan of Zoe Deschanel as a singer. I've never seen anything she's done as an actress. At least I don't think I have. Miss the days where the director was the main point of pictures, not the actors. I mean, I would say that it varies. I would say that it varies. I kind of think that the days of the superstar actor, where like people go watch this movie because it has this actor in it, I feel like that is a lot less common than it actually used to be. No, actually, I have watched a Deschanel movie. I watched Almost Famous. I did watch Almost Famous, and she was apparently in that. Um, and apparently, she also did an episode of Frasier. So, I saw her in Almost Famous and one episode of Frasier. What do you think of Alfred Hitchcock? I don't know that I've ever actually watched a Hitchcock movie. I might have. Maybe not. As a kid, the only thing that adults talk about was directors. Really think they make the movie. Yeah, I mean that varies, crying shame. I mean, you do still get that. Like people will go to watch the new Wes Anderson movie. So I mean, to a certain extent, you still get that. Or like the Russos. People talk about the Russo brothers. People talk about Snyder. Zack Snyder. People still talk about Zack Snyder films. They don't go to watch. Like they go to watch the new Zack Snyder. People upset. Frankly, Zack Snyder, frankly, has a downright obnoxious fan base at times. We'll get the OG cast in the Deadpool movie. Well, TJ Miller's not going to be in it. Safe to say, TJ Miller is not going to be in the new Deadpool movie. Or do you mean the OG X-Men cast? because I don't give a shit. Lars von Trier movies. Always almost too much. Fair. So I think there are still directors that people care about. I feel like it varies. Like there are people who care about directors, there are people who care about actors, and there are people who care about franchises. You know, that's sort of like there are some people who will go to watch the new Zack Snyder movie. There are some people who will go to watch the new Dwayne Johnson movie. And there are people who will go to watch the new Marvel movie. People like me who care about any Skarsgård. Indeed, yep. If I hear Ridley Scott, I'm interested again. Quentin Tarantino, don't forget him. Yeah. Though he's not going to be around much longer. I think he's, you know, he does go kind of a long time between movies, and I think he is planning on retiring. Shyamalan has a bunch of wonderful films. He also has a bunch of terrible films. He wrote the screenplay for Stuart Little. Shyamalan is one of those directors who is incredibly hit or miss. Hey, Peps. You know, some of his movies people absolutely adore. And then he's also got Avatar: The Last Airbender. Though, in his defense, a lot of the problems with that one came from executive meddling. So, it's easy to blame Shyamalan for Avatar: The Last Airbender, but there was a lot of executive meddling with that one. Like, the main producer wanted to have his daughter or niece or granddaughter or something, wanted to have some girl related to him in one of the lead roles. So, hey, she gets cast as, one of the lead girl. So, Avatar's trash. Oh, absolutely. It's a movie that you won't find anyone defending. Didn't happen. It happened. I'm just saying it's not entirely fair to put all the blame for it on Shyamalan. I suspect it still wouldn't have been a good movie without all the executive meddling. It just wouldn't have been as, it just probably wouldn't have been as terrible. Yeah, if he'd been free to make the movie on his own, it probably would have gone from terrible to forgettable. But like I said, executive meddling just meant that everything got fucked up even more. Anyway, it's 2.5. It's been 2.5 hours, so I am tired, so I'm gonna get going. Gonna end it for tonight. But thank you all for coming. Thank you very much for MG for the 200, and to was it Alien Tourist who donated a little bit, and C Cat C. I believe it was Alien Tourist and Cat C, I think, who donated a little bit as well. All right, good timing then. Good timing then, MG. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Thank you so much, MG. And good night, everybody.